Bonjour mes enfants. Alors donc aujourd'hui dans cette vidéo je vais expliquer l'imparfait. Okay, so this is where it gets a bit more advanced in this series. Now the tense itself isn't too bad and you have seen it throughout Key Stage 3. Every year 7 knows c'était, il y avait, you can't escape a tense, but you won't have the same background in it. You don't know it as well. We haven't practiced it as much as the other tenses that we've done in these series. So this video should really help you out. The other thing about this tense is it can look quite strange in some of its forms. So it's really important you know how it works when you get to those forms and you think, no, I've not done that right. How come I haven't done that? It is right a lot of the time. Hopefully all you need to do is know these rules really well so you know what to do. So let's get on to our key questions for today. Voila, here they are then, 5 key questions. Like always, pause the video now, look through these key questions, see if there's any you can answer, and then restart and go through it all. Okay, let's start with when do you use the imperfect tense? Really important this. This is what you must know. Okay, so the 3 occasions you need to do is whenever you want to say was, were, or used to, you need to use the imperfect tense. Now, imperfect and perfect, this is the difference between the two. The perfect tense is a completed action, whereas the imperfect expresses something ongoing, and that's where it translates to was, were, used to. So when do we express ongoing things? I've got 3 really good examples for you. So the first one is here. Anything continuous in the past. So he was having an affair. That affair went on for years and years and years. It's a continuous action in the past. Here's a nice sentence because it's got both the imperfect and the perfect together, which really shows you the difference between the two. I was watching the TV when the cat exploded. Okay, so the cat exploding, that's the perfect tense. It's finished. The cat's gone all over the place. That is a completed action. I was watching the TV, however, is an ongoing action. It just expresses something that was ongoing at that time, and that's why it's the imperfect. So any continuous or interrupted actions in the past, if you ever want to say what was happening, you use the imperfect. The second time then is any description in the past. So the weather was good. The weather was good for the whole of your trip. So the weather was good as an ongoing action. The city was beautiful. It didn't change. It hadn't been beautiful and something happened. The city was beautiful. Mr. Ennis was a handsome man in his youth. That was ongoing for a few years anyway, until it all went wrong. So any description in the past, you need to use the imperfect tense. And then finally, this is one people don't quite get. It's an habitual action. So whenever you want to say what you used to do, you need to use the imperfect in French. So I used to smoke. I used to go drinking in the city. Anything that translates to used to, you need to use the imperfect tense. Okay, so that's the first 2 points down. The formation of the imperfect is a lot more complicated, and this is what we need to look at. So we're going to look at rules 3, 4, and 5 together now. Okay, so this is where people go wrong in the imperfect tense. The endings are fine. It's the stem of the verb that causes so much difficulty in this tense. Now, what I mean by the stem is that's the part of the verb you take to form your tense with. In this case, to get the stem for the imperfect, you take the new form of the present tense. Now, why the new form? Because it changes a lot of verbs. So the first step you need to do is whatever verb you want to say you were doing or was doing or used to do, you take it in the new form in the present. So here's some examples. I've got regarder, finir, en faire, a regular ER verb, an IR verb, and then an irregular verb. So take the new form, as I've done at the top. Nous regardons. You need the stem. So get rid of the new, get rid of the ONS. Regarde is our stem. And then you whack these endings on. Finir. Now this is why I chose an IR verb, because in the new form, IR verbs change. So nous finissons with the ONS on the end. So get rid of the new, get rid of the ONS, and your stem is finis. Faire is an irregular verb. I've missed the F off. Nous faisons. Get rid of the new, get rid of the ONS, and you should have FAIS, and that's your stem. And then put these endings on. Now I know what you're thinking. These are the endings for the conditional tense. And you're completely right. But they're also the endings for the imperfect tense. How'd you tell the difference? Well, you tell me. Look at step 1 for the imperfect. What's step 1 for the conditional? How are they different? If you're not sure, watch the future tenses video also on this series. Okay, back to the imperfect. This is what you need to know. There's one irregular, which is être. Être changes to nous sommes. You don't change that, it just changes to et. That's the stem for être. That is supposedly the one irregular. Okay, so put everything we've done together. There's 5 key questions here and an extra challenge. That extra challenge is really nasty. I'm going to do the first one with you, then pause me and see if you can do the rest. So I used to go. Step 1, take the nous form. So it's the verb aller, nous allons. I get rid of the nous. Here we go. Nous allons. I get rid of the nous. I get rid of the ONS, and that just leaves me that ALL. That's the stem. That's the bit of the verb I need. I is je. I've got the verb to go, and then I tag the end on the ends, put it all together. J'allais. Voilà. Simple. Alright, pause me, have another look at these. Alors, okay, let's see how well you've done. They were watching. Our verb to watch is regarder. Change it to the new form. Nous regardons. Get rid of the nous. Get rid of the ONS. That's our stem. They, let's take the masculine, and then the ending is AIENT. Ils regardaient is what you need. Perfect. They were unhappy. Okay, the unhappy makes this tricky. So it's être, which is our irregular. So you change it to nous n'étions pas contents. We were not happy. Nous n'étions pas. They were striking. Faire de la grève is to go on strike, to do a strike. So fair's irregular. Nous form, nous faisons. So the FAIS is your stem. Ils faisaient de la grève. The strikers were winning. Gagner changes to nous gagnions, changes to ils gagnaient, or les grévistes gagnaient. Voilà. And then he was calling every night. I put this for an extra challenge because the verb to call is appeler, and it changes its spelling in the new form. It goes down from 2 L's down to 1. So it should be il appelait chaque soir. Now, why have I been so nasty picking a funny verb like that on the extra challenge? It's because of this rule that people say for the imperfect. The rule is there's only one irregular for the imperfect tense, which is number 4, être. Être is the one irregular. Other than that, they all follow the pattern I've just talked about. But that is a lie, because any verb that's irregular in the present is going to be irregular in the imperfect. So knowing your verbs off by heart is so important. We'll come to question 5 in a second. Pause the video now, look at questions 1 to 4, see if you can answer them. Alors, okay, so far so good. We're now on to question 5. So the one irregular is être, but any verb that's irregular in the present tense is also going to be irregular in the imperfect because we take the new form, and this is what is so tricky. So here I've got a collection of verbs that you need to know. Jouer and vendre I've put first. A regular ER verb, a regular RE verb, they shouldn't cause you many difficulties. It's the rest of them, the second half from finir onwards, these are going to stand out. IR verbs, the ending for IR in the present tense is ISSONS for the new form, so you need to remember that for this. So finir changes to finissez, 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 finissions, finissiez, finisseons. You need to remember that. A verb like étudier, it changes to nous étudions with the I. So when it comes to the imperfect, if you look at the new form, it's got that crazy double I. Nous étudions. It's got 2 I's together. You need to know that for both of these phrases. Same thing for voyager. Nous voyageons. And same with manger. Just has that extra E in it. You need to remember it for the other parts here. So nous voyagions. Vous voyagiez. And then commencer, commençons with the cedilla. You need to remember those apart from the new form and the vous form. Now, you might think these are incredibly advanced. How am I going to remember them? Eventually you'll just know, you'll just remember them, you'll just use them. Follow the pattern and you can't go wrong, even if it looks a bit strange. Voila, so here's our 5 key questions. This is what you need to answer. Pause me now, see if you can answer these 5 questions. If you can't, just rewatch the video again and have a little look. Okay, so now we're going to put you to the test. I've taken away everything you need. I've just put at the top a little bit of help, a little bit of a prompt. You've 6 sentences here. See if you can answer and translate all 6 of these phrases. Okay, let's see what we've got. I used to like. So think about all the steps. Take the new form, take it off. This is what you should have. Nous aimons, take off the new, take off the ONS, so it changes to j'aimais. I used to like. I used to finish. An IR verb is always going to cause you difficulties because of the ending. Nous finissions, take off the ONS, and you've got je finissais. Doesn't that look crazy? They were selling, vendre. Nous vendons, so VEND is your stem, so it's ils vendaient. Voilà. And then I did. We've got j'ai fait. Remember, this was a cheeky little past tense. J'ai fait, I have done. So compare that to I used to do. Take the new form, nous faisons. The FAIS is your stem, and it changes to je faisais. And then she used to eat. Remember, manger. Go, je mange, tu manges, il on mange. Nous mangions. You've got that extra little e. You need to keep it together. Elle mangeait, like that. Crazy. So this is all the rules you need to know. If you've got all 6 of these, you've done incredibly well. If you've dropped a few marks, that's the way and the nature of this tense. Have another little watch and practice these different things and you're away. Okay, so here's our 5 rules that you must know. Remember, was, were, or used to is all the imperfect tense. It expresses an ongoing action, whereas the perfect is a complete action. You take the present tense, new form of the verb, which changes it. Être is the one irregular, but remember, all verbs that are irregular in the present tense are going to have irregular stems in this, which is what makes it so tricky. Now, I'm sure you've really enjoyed yourself today and you want a bit more practice. So here we go. Step 1 is look at the daily test 24. That's got the real essentials that you must know and you must crack. After that, GCSE students go to page 56 and 57 of your G&T book. A-level, everything on the imperfect tense. Should say imperfect there, apologies. Everything on the imperfect tense, have a little look through your grammar book and see what you complete for next time. You can watch this video as many times as you want to help you out. Come and talk to me if you're still stuck. This has been the imperfect tense. Thank you for watching today.